And boom, I'm live. All right, GM everyone. It's another weekly batch analysis. So I have a lot of trades this week, a lot of trades, and especially a lot of trades that I missed, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit more. Kind of interested to see whether the trades that I did take were bad or not. Like overall, you can see my results. Well, actually, overall, my results this week are minus 1.4. So not too good, but how many trades is this? One, two, three, four, five, six. So I took 7 trades, and I'm down minus 1.4. I think that's kind of good. Like I managed to protect my downside pretty nicely, caught one win, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see how I performed on these. But unfortunately, I made one big mistake, which was that in the morning when I was curating my watch list on Thursday, I didn't include UJ for some reason. I don't really know why. Like lately, I've gotten so used to creating my watch list that I'm doing it quite fast. Like literally when I come in the morning, this is how fast I go, right? I just zoom out a little bit. I just look at the C here, which sometimes is 1 hour, sometimes 4 hour, whatever, some kind of higher time frame just to make sense of the market. And I literally just press spacebar, and pretty much within 5 seconds, I'm able to tell whether this is something that I want to trade on the day or not. Very quickly. And maybe it's a little bit too quick. Like the entire watch list takes me less than a minute. And honestly, I think there's no need to be that quick. I can take my time and curate it a little bit more carefully. And then things like this won't happen. Because had I traded UJ that day, I would be up 17R on the day, which is fucking crazy. Or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I think there were like 3 or 4 wins. Crazy numbers. But unfortunately, I skipped on all of that. And if I didn't, man, I would be out of this DD by now. I would be in new all time highs. That would be incredible. But, could have, should have. Shit happens. So the best thing I can do is document it properly, go over it, learn my lessons, and try my best to not repeat that mistake again, right? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I even recorded a quick backtesting session where I went over UJ. You can find that in the playlist if you're interested, where you can see me going from 9 a.m. throughout the whole day, bar by bar, explaining like what I'm looking for in the market and also showing how I'm documenting my trades live. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little bit sad, but what can you do? So let's get into the trades, I guess. I also made some refinements to my Notion a little bit, so I'm gonna try to use that here for the first time. So week 31, and let's do it as always. Let's take a look at previous week real quick. So what went well? I followed rules well. I said no to a lot of trades, and I was very patient. And what went bad is I forced an ugly entry. And I traded one inconsistent market. All right. Can I quickly see what that was? So this was the mistake. Why was it a mistake? Because it was an ugly entry, apparently. I see. I see. This is like an MB3 or whatnot. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm just gonna copy that here, just so I can see. And I traded an inconsistent market. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. So I see. Yeah, I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna do. Oh, I can't. I can't. Okay. Well, I need to do it like this then. Boop. Just gonna copy that over here, just so I can see it. And results overall were plus 12. That's very, very nice. Like, finally, my trend following system started playing out its edge in a trending market, and that's good. So, this week, I think it's all the same in terms of what to focus on. Mostly do not trade in consistent markets. Yeah, that's like a new one that I really, really want to focus on. So, coming in, I have some crypto trade here. So let's actually go to here. Yep. So Monday, it's this trade right over here. And Oh, I remember this. I remember this. I was So what I tend to do is when it comes to crypto, I just log into Hyperliquid, and as long as Bitcoin is in a good environment where it's like in a reaccumulation and it's in a bullish context, I'm kind of just looking at my V and E most of the time, and if I see like a good impulse, I tend to follow it. And that's a little bit of what I did here. So here's my EVC, right? I mean, I entered this on a 6 minute. Oh, I have a 6 minute here twice. That's funny. But yeah, that makes around the 60 or 30 minute, whatever, that makes that my V. And my C should therefore be the bigger time frame. And looking at the bigger time frame over here, this is kind of trash, in my opinion. This is completely stage one, right? This is all that needs to be said. I mean, I want to trade markets that all the way from the context time frame are trending. And this is not trending. So that already, I remember that was a mistake because I simply should not have. I just checked the V and E and completely skipped this, and I only checked it afterwards. So that was kind of a silly mistake, to be honest. Um, so no surprise, it ended up in a -1. But anyway, what did I actually see? So I saw that some big momentum came in, and I kind of started following that on an E. And even here, this is fucking ugly because it's inconsistent, right? The entry itself, the DMB is alright. Like the DMB is okay, but this is an inconsistent market. So I broke two really, really big rules here, and that sucks. And to be honest, one thing that I have noticed is that I tend to make mistakes on Monday. I don't know what it is, but it's just like over the weekend I fall out of the routine or whatnot, and I guess I'm hyped to trade. And if something looks good, I want to take it. So it's definitely an emotional thing, and I'm gonna write that down, and I'm gonna be especially careful on Monday. And that's also one of the reasons why I actually created a more refined journal here, because I really want to have these things on my mind all the time. Because although I have it here in the rules and I have it here in the Miro, to be completely honest, I don't always look at it, but I really, really want to. I want to make it part of my morning routine where before I actually start trading, not only do I check news, but I also check what my rules for the week are because there's a purpose why I'm writing these, right? I need to nail this in my head. So yeah, let's go back to that trade. It's this one, and let's label it up. So context-wise, right? Uh, small. This is a stage one, no doubt about it. This is a stage one. So this is just, I don't know, man. Honestly, it's inconsistent and ugly. Honestly, this is one of the worst trades I have taken in a long time. This absolutely sucks. Inconsist, inconsist. Jesus, I can't write today. Inconsistent and anything else? No, that's it. The DMB itself is alright, but it's inconsistent. So let me just mark up the DMB real quick. Boop. So I would say it's probably like from here, this entire thing. Mm-hmm. Make that white. Thank you. And this is MB2. So they are very much proportional, very much similar in size. So that was not a problem. The problem is that this whole thing like was super inconsistent. I decided earlier that I do not want to follow markets that do this. I mean, look what it did previously. Just kind of stage one, and then boom, big big impulse. Like if anything, I should wait for it to break out into a new range, proving to me that this is not just one inconsistent buy, but actually there is follow through. This is not a healthy trend, so I do not want to trade this. So a lot was wrong with this trade, unfortunately. Hurts to admit, but it is what it is. It's a mistake. So yeah, let me label that up. So 60 minutes was absolute garbage. Stage one. Yeah. Ugly context, stage one. 6 minutes was, what was 6 minutes? Well, 6 minutes is my E at this point, but I'm supposed to look at the 60. So it's my V. Alright, well, it's ugly and inconsistent. So 6 minute was ugly as well, and it was inconsistent. And the entry was alright. Okay, I'm gonna say questionable, inconsistent. Management-wise, there was nothing to do, so overall it was a mistake because of stage one, and yeah, that's gonna that's gonna be it. It's closed already, and yeah, that's everything. All right, cool. Moving on to the next trade. This is UJ. So here I'm looking at the 1 hour. Definitely a bullish trend over here. Here, low start getting liquidated, right? I assume reaccumulation. And the moment I get proof of trend to the upside on the 60 minute, I'm very much valid to follow. I would say this was probably some kind of stage one. Let me get something thinner. So yeah, this is probably some kind of stage one. I would start following maybe over here. And this is already moving higher in a momentum cycle on good momentum. This is looking very, very good. Great context. So here on the 6 minute, what do we have? Um, so I see. So this line over here, this is some kind of range and it's some kind of stage one and whatnot, right? And we break out on good momentum. I remember I was already looking for trades over here, but nothing quite happened. It fell deeper. It fell deeper into well, into like the demand zone where it came from. So there's definitely a demand zone over here, and here it bounced and got into a new range and pulled back into the prime area of the rising 1020. This looks amazing, honestly. This looks really, really good. I like this 6 minute. So this is a 1 minute entry as it looks like, and here this stage two was really nice and strong. This reaccumulation is pretty nice. Lows being liquidated, pretty cool. And I can see a very nice containment line. And then we have MB1, MB2. So looking at this, I think it's all right. I think it makes total sense. I mean, we're expecting this to continue bullish, right? And it goes above some kind of like MB high here. Like the demand validation is clear as day. The pullback is quite healthy. If I went to the 2 minute maybe or 3 minute, this would look even better. And yeah, I think this was generally a very, very nice trade. And here, even if we look at it fractally, right, this is the trade. I mean, doesn't get much better than this. So I do like this. This is a very good trade. This taps me in and pretty much instantly fucks me up, right? How do I manage? Wait. UJ. This looks great, I'd say. Yes, it does. And yeah, this doesn't give me a chance to do anything really. It just instantly taps me out. So let's start labeling it up. This is great context, good momentum. Okay, this is very good momentum, already trending. It's probably like MMB 1 or 2. And this is, in my opinion, a great entry. Perfect entry. So overall, I'd say this trade, it's also it's 1 minute entry. So this trade deserves a perfect. Perfect. Nice. I'm gonna label that up real quick. All yellow. Actually, it was a 1 minute entry, so good entry and perfect management. Cool. So that makes it perfect. And that's closed as well. Okay. And that is all for Monday. Going forward from now on, whenever I do this, I'm going to have a daily reflection as well. These comments over here that I have in Notion, like these comments, they have proven to be very, very useful. Even just one sentence or two sentences about any given trade can really, really help me imagine the context so much better. And yeah, I also want to have the daily reflection because of that. Because most of the time after I end my session, I go for a walk and I think about the day. And it would be nice to be able to recap it very quickly. So then when I go over it in my weekly batch analysis, I can see what my thoughts were and whether I want to improve anything or whether I was happy with my performance, etc. So yeah, that was Monday. And now we go to Tuesday. So starting Tuesday, we have a trade on Euro USD. So what do we have here? We have a stage one And yeah, there's a preceding downtrend. So we have stage one. I expect most of this to be for redistribution purposes, so I'm not quite looking at stuff over here. But then it starts pre-accumulating, going to the side, and it breaks higher, right? We can probably see that nicely here on the 6-minute. Yeah, I mean, there was something here, there was something here. Uh, like, maybe it was valid to start following here already, but I guess nothing really set up. And then as it breaks out higher over here on quite big momentum, I'm starting to look for an entry. Makes total sense because it has proven that it actually wants to go in this direction. And here, what do I have? Okay, so I have a beautiful, beautiful strong breakout that pulls back into the rising 1020. Let's see how it does that. So here, very strong stage two, very, very strong. And here it starts reaccumulating. I guess I could do something like this. Yep, makes sense. And yeah, lows liquidated, lows liquidated, lows liquidated, very nice. And here I'm pretty much just looking at like MB1 over here. That's MB1 and MB2 over here, which is very similar. And also what I really liked about this trade is that it looked like it started going, but then it went for one more spring over here. So this is like a textbook, what do you call it? Wyckoff accumulation schematic, right? Where you have the sign of strength, one more spring, and then it usually goes. Also, this point over here liquidated this point, which gave me even more confidence that if this goes above this high, it's going to continue higher, because if it just wanted to redistribute and fuck off lower, it would do it over here. So I really like this entry a lot, but unfortunately, this just taps me in and instantly fucks me up. This doesn't usually happen. Like most of the time, like I would get a loss over here where this sets up like that. Then it comes to liquidate and then it goes higher, right? And that already happened. So I thought, yeah, okay, all of the people that got bamboozled over here, well, I'm gonna enter after them. And yeah, this time it didn't work out. The composite puppy outplayed me, but that's all right. So here we definitely had good momentum, 100%. Mm, okay, this was a I think this is a stage one breakout. And it's also on good momentum. The 1 minute was amazing in terms of good momentum. And the 10-second, I think, was a perfect entry. So overall, I'm going to rate this trade as perfect. Even though it's 2 minus 1s already, it doesn't matter. This looked impulsive on every time frame. Yep, absolutely agree. So overall, perfect. Cool. So next trade is another Euro USD trade, and I actually didn't take this. Why not? Well, I just tagged forgot to follow. Okay. What's the time difference here? So I forgot to follow. It's 8:53. It's literally 10 minutes later. I wonder why I forgot. I should not have forgotten. But it's all right. So what has changed? What has changed? I think we can simply look at the. Oh man. Yeah, I think we can simply look at the 1 minute here. So this is the impulse, right? This one. Here it pulls back, and I guess it also creates a nice little containment line. And here, like this looks amazing, man. This is like exactly the area where I want to trade. Big momentum comes in, pulls back. This looks very good. And this is a 10-second entry, I see. So here, what I'm looking at is this entire thing as a stage one, and this is the MMB one, right? It's not necessarily the regular DMB, but I actually like these entries as well. I have tested it. I have given it a lot of thought of how I want to enter these things. But in general, as long as like this accumulation is a nice back and forward that isn't too wild in any way, which this one isn't, if it looks like a reaccumulation, forms some kind of stage one and then creates the MMB, like yeah, you can look at the DMB over here or whatnot, right? But like ultimately, it's a break above some kind of chop, and then the momentum comes in, the big validation. Yeah, I mean, this looked amazing. I'm not necessarily trading patterns, so to say. What I'm trading is price action principles, right? And this meets all the rules. It's really, really nice. So I think this trade was also perfect. Should have taken it. Uh, Good momentum here. Okay, this is the same. This is stage 1 breakout on good momentum. This is a good momentum also, and this is a perfect entry also. Oopsie. So that deserves another perfect. Very cool. Wait, is that the trade? Oh yeah, it's a break even. So how did I manage? This first candle was not quite enough. The second candle gave me a clear reason to go break even. I mean risk free. Also, it broke above the range high. So at that point, I really don't want to have any risk on, and that's all it really does. And from there, it returns to break even. So management wise, that was perfect as well. So that's a perfect, and I should have taken it. Okay. Moving on, there's a win on Euro USD that I did not take. Wow. Why not? I already took 2 trades on this, so I didn't want to take another one, but I didn't notice it's a new range. Therefore, this was 100% valid. Wait. Really? Didn't the same shit happen to me yesterday? I mean, yesterday, last week? Something like that? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I did some like end of the day reflection and that's what I'm reminding myself of. I have no idea. But yeah, anyway, let's look at the 1 minute. So here what happened, right? Last trade was taken over here. That comes back to break even, pulls back to the rising 1020 again, goes to a new range. I guess what I didn't like here is that it didn't necessarily go to a new range, like at least not on the 1 minute. So I thought this is a little bit weird. But if I look at the 10 second, right, this is clearly a new range, and here it pulls back. So I guess what I thought was that this is probably just some kind of liquidation. I expected this to fuck down lower, and for some reason I got scared of that. But I shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have. This is completely fine. Like I took 2 trades on a given range, but it was a break even and a -1. I definitely had ammunition for this. I had it. Like yeah, I had a risk reserve for this 100%. So I should have taken this. Definitely. Because this is great, like all the way from the higher time frames. Like nothing's different, right? It's still the same kind of bullish market that I want to follow. Uh, is it this how I want to do it? Yes. And here, yeah, I got a little bit bamboozled. Got a little bit bamboozled with this, but I should have definitely taken this. Like here, this stage 2 looks very good. One thing that I actually realized, and I wrote some stuff about this, is so I know that uh, in order for me to get an entry, I know that I need an impulsive move, right? And then I get in over here or whatnot. But when I get the impulsive entry, this already tells me, okay, the upcoming reaccumulation I can trade, right? And maybe like there is a trade here that taps me in and fucks off again. And at that point, I'm a little bit like sussed out. But as long as this is a valid MMB on the higher time frame, I should be completely valid to take the double MB setups. And I guess like here I got a little bit sussed out that I already took 2 and like I assume that this is maybe all part of like a new MB. I don't know what I did here, man. It was really silly to be honest because this is still above the rising EMAs. Like this is completely fine to trade and I should have traded it. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about is that when this comes in over here, I'm kind of like I used to compare this to this, and I wanted to have it similar size, but that's a little bit ridiculous. Like that's like comparing absolute numbers instead of relative numbers. And in terms of absolute numbers, I cannot expect this kind of move to happen within a reaccumulation, right? I mean, that would be this. And then I'm already trading a whole new range that is even potentially, well, maybe overextended or whatnot. But I know that I'm looking for trades that are ideally under the floating supply, like somewhere over here. And yeah, then I can also trade here and here. Why not? But here is completely valid. So if I know that it's valid, then I also need to know that this impulse cannot be the same in terms of absolute numbers because this is fucking huge, right? That doesn't fit here. Like I cannot expect this first before I enter. No, what I instead need to expect is the same type of price action just scaled down to the price action we're in right now. So the equivalent of this in the bigger scale is the same as this on this scale. So here all I need to evaluate is this stage 2 over here and whether it's strong or not, and that's this stage 2 over here, right? I cannot compare this stage 2 to this stage 2, which comes all the way somewhere over here. That's kind of silly. But what I can do is I can apply the exact same rules to determine whether this is a strong move or not. And looking at this move, looking at this move compared to not only this move but also this move looks way smaller in terms of absolute numbers, but it's exactly the same stuff relatively. So this was definitely strong, and I should have entered that. I don't know why I didn't. So here I can see it, right? This is a beautiful stage 2. If this was my V or my E, I would definitely be looking to enter. So when this reaccumulates, I'm more than valid to take the DMB over here. So yeah, just needed to talk myself through this a little bit and make sure that I understand this because this was a perfect trade. Okay, so the DMB over here, let's just mark it up real quick. I mean, I would say this is it. Boop. Yeah, that looks amazing. And what does this do? That taps me in. I go risk-free on this huge candle. Makes sense. And it goes pretty much instantly to +5. And I should have been in it. Yeah. I have 100% should have traded this. Too bad. Why did I not take this? I have no idea. I have no clue why I didn't take this. I guess I forgot to follow. Oh no. Lol. I'm stupid. I didn't take this because of the two trades. Mm, so what do I actually call that? I don't know. What's the reason? It's a new reason. Uh, Definitely a red one. I don't know. I'm just gonna say forgot to follow. Whatever. So I should have taken this, and it was a perfect trade. Mm, okay. So moving on, we have another Euro USD trade. So I have quite a lot of trades here on Euro USD already. So where are we here on the, let's say on the 6 minute or the 1 minute? The 1 minute? Mm, okay, yeah. So the previous trade was taken over here, right? This is where the profit came in. And I think this is MMB1, maybe 2, probably part of 1. This is MMB2. So by no means is this overextended. And I think this can definitely follow. So here, as it pulls back into the prime area of the 1020, right, I go to the 10-second. I look at this stage 2 over here. This is very impulsive, very strong. So of course I want to follow it. Here, I guess it comes back into a demand zone over here. If I draw it perfectly, it even liquidates the low. Absorption, very, very nice. So as long as serious money comes in and we get demand validation, I'm happy to trade it. So here, big reignition, right? This looks amazing. Pulls back into the rising 1020, and of course I want to buy this. This is an amazing trade. I absolutely love this one. So I would say probably this whole thing is MB1, and this would be MB2, and it's even completely proportional with a copy paste. So this is amazing. And rules is rules. Gotta take this. Yeah. Too bad I didn't think of that last trade. But yeah, here on this trade, I mean on this candle, I break even, and here it comes back. So just not enough juice in the trend, but that's okay. I really love this trade. So good momentum, blah blah blah, all of these things. Yep. And I forgot to paste this here. This is a perfect entry, and this is a perfect entry as well. So far, like I'm well. it sucks that I didn't take certain trades, but looking at like what kind of trades I have taken and how they look like, I'm pretty happy with it, except for the very, very first one on that crypto. That trade sucked ass, man. Just sip my coffee a little bit. But yeah, this was another perfect trade. Beautiful. So, is that the same trade? I think it is, right? Yeah. Let me label that up. That deserves a perfect. And I did take this one, so all good. All right, and eight. What? Dude, seriously? I had so many trades at like around 9 a.m. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like 4 trades in the span of half an hour. Wow. Okay, and then there's one more trade here on a crypto, but I did not take this one. Okay, why not? So here I already look at the context, right? So here I selected the context of whatever the fuck this is. 12 hour or something. Yeah, I just shuffled the time frames around and I chose one that like looks like makes the most sense. And here, like we have some kind of choppy market, whatnot. All of a sudden, some kind of demand validation, not too strong yet, so I wouldn't follow. Reaccumulate, and then big momentum comes in, right? Reaccumulates again, creates some kind of stage one over here, and then breaks uh, into a new range. So here we can see the stage one and the break into a new range. And as this new range is formed on the 5 minute, what do we have? Yeah, a beautiful, beautiful stage two. And here, this is an MMB, most definitely. And I'm just looking for a DMB. And, oh, I know why I didn't take this. I know. So the reason I didn't take this is because this is kind of a different type of entry. But it's really not. Okay, so it's fractally a little bit different. What do I mean by that? Usually when I'm under 5 minutes, I would go to the 1 minute on Forex and all of that stuff, right? But I cannot really do that on crypto because, well, the broker deals and the spreads and commissions and all that nonsense. It's simply not liquid enough. But with 5 minutes, it's kind of all right. But anyway, imagine what does this look like on the 1 minute, right? On the 1 minute, this probably looks like some kind of nice stage two. Then it breaks its momentum cycle. Then the big validation comes in, pulls back a little bit, and does this, right? This is what it looks like. And the reason I know this is because I went over my entries and I looked at them from all perspectives. That's why I take my trades, like I document my trades before they get tapped in, because I can then look, like let's say on this time frame, right? I can see that on this time frame how it looks. Even though this is a 10-second entry, I can see what it looks like on the 1 minute, so on the V. And this is exactly what I have noticed, that these beautiful trades that have a momentum cycle that breaks down and then gets its reignition, I can only trade this if the momentum cycle on the V is not broken, right? But how does this setup look on the V? And how it usually looks like is the good old ICI, where we have this, it pulls back to the 1020, and then it does this, right? And that's exactly what this is as well. It's just that it's on a different time frame. And that's exactly what happens over here. And because I'm going to be using bigger stop loss, because this is a 5 minute entry now, I feel like this is completely valid for me to trade, but I don't have too much experience with it just yet. And uh, also my cryptos are actually live trades, so I did not take this. But this was completely valid to trade, and I could have taken it because this is exactly that, right? The stage two pulls back on some smaller time frame. Like I'm trading momentum cycles, right? I'm trading momentum cycles. So if I can, instead of going to a lower time frame, enter on this time frame with the exact same rules, why wouldn't I? And here, like this makes complete sense, right? This is MB1, this is MB2. There's a nice demand validation that leaves behind inefficiency. It's impulsive. This is exactly it. This is the ICI. So I could have entered this, but I didn't. And yeah, that would have delivered to +5. A little bit unfortunate. But yeah, definitely good context here. Here, this is a stage one breakout. Whoa. Jeez. This is a stage one breakout on good momentum. This has definitely good momentum, and overall, it's a good entry. Could there be anything better? Yes. Uh, I should have probably shuffled the time frames a little bit to see the inefficiencies, but I would probably enjoy if this was a little bit more impulsive, or maybe if the chop didn't happen all the way like high up here, but maybe only up here. So maybe chop, 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 and then this, right? And there would be a more impulsive move over here. That would be perfect, but still, this was very good. And the way I manage here, I was stalking this, but the entry looked a bit weak, so I skipped. I see, makes sense. And here, yeah, after these two candles, I would be risk-free, and that goes to +5. So overall, I really think this trade was perfect, and I should have traded it. So didn't take, should have taken, because it's perfect. So it was good context, good momentum, and good entry. So yeah, I think, yeah, I'm not going to measure the max RR here. I think it went only a tiny little bit higher, only a tiny little bit. So maybe 5.5 or some shit. Okay, so that's Tuesday completed, and I missed 2 wins. I missed +10. Jesus Christ, man. A bit sad, not gonna lie. All right, moving on Wednesday. No trades on Wednesday and Thursday. Oh my god, man. Thursday. Jeez. Yep, so as I said earlier, I made a mistake where I didn't put UJ on my watch list, and therefore I literally wasn't following it at all, and I didn't take like 6 trades. 1, 2, 4, yeah, 6 trades. That's crazy. The only trade that I did take was a GU trade, and yeah, I then backtested it, and I filled this out as if I was trading live. So let's just go over it as if I traded it. Okay. So here we are on UJ, right? Here we have an uptrend, beautiful uptrend, 50 moving up. Like this is a momentum cycle. It's a little bit like it's not the strongest, but it's definitely more than good enough. Here it reaccumulates, right? Some lows are being liquidated. We have a accumulation schematic here, beautiful, and here it breaks into a new range. Confirms that it wants to go in this direction, and then it pulls back. And here, as it broke into the new range, it left behind this demand zone. This pulled back into the demand zone, created a stage 1 over there, and broke into a new range. So this context is absolutely perfect. It's beautiful, and I really don't understand why I didn't trade it. But hey, it is what it is. We can see that in more detail here on the 6-minute, right? This is the break into the new range. Here it pulls back into the demand zone, creates a beautiful, beautiful accumulation schematic, and immense momentum comes in, breaking into yet another new range, pulling back into the rising 1020. All the EMAs are rising. It's beautiful, right? And even on this time frame already, because I think this is probably going to be a 1-minute entry, even on this time frame, just like I talked about last time, this is already the ICI, right? So this is valuable because it gives me more confluence in terms of I can look at my entry and evaluate it from 2 different perspectives, not only from my E, but also from my V, and I know what the ideal setups look like. This looks amazing. So I think this is a 1-minute entry, if I'm not mistaken. So this stage 2 is absolutely insane. So I'm valid to trade the reaccumulation. Here it pulls back, starts chopping a little bit, and here big demand validation, right? This looks like a beautiful stage 1. I mean, a beautiful Wyckoff schematic with a spring or STB, whatever this is. And here it breaks higher. It pulls back into the rising 1020. Yeah, it wicks a little bit through it, but overall shows that it's demanded around these levels. And here, I guess this is this a 10-second entry? Oh, it's a 10-second entry. I see. I see. I see. Uh, I see. Actually, actually, I'm not supposed to trade that, to be completely honest. I guess I can, but I'm not really supposed to, but it doesn't matter because I know for a fact that this 1-minute entry delivered as well. Because originally I took that 1-minute entry and then I backtested it and I checked only 10-second entries. So this wouldn't be completely valid. Like I would ideally take this on the 1-minute and then the follow-up MB, that one I can trade on the 10-second. So Let me actually do this thing where I'm gonna go back to UJ real quick. USDJPY. All right, here we are. And yeah, this is a trade, right? So I'm gonna go back, boom, and I'm gonna trade this on the 1 minute. I can already delete this stuff. Yeah, because on the 1 minute this was completely valid. So boop, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the spread, right? And here I would go with the 6-minute ATR. So 133, boom. That's a bit big. That's very big, but whatever. So 133 times 5. I'm gonna use my good boy the calculator because I don't know. 665. Cool. So here we are, and I'm just wondering if this would have hit or not. And also, I should really, really document this. So, all right, so let's go to the 60. Okay, here we are. Just need to make sure that everything is nicely visible the way I need it. Okay, so this is the entry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to include it here. So, boop. So this is UJ. And this trade is taken when? At 10:23 on July 25. Okay, so wait, what? That makes no fucking sense. Oh, okay, July 31. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it's 31. What time again? 10:23. Okay, 10:23. Yo, 10:23. Okay, cool. And this is the 1 min entry I was supposed to take. Boom. I did not take this one. Why did I not take it? Because not on my watch list, right? And I also need to include this over here now. So how do I do this? Probably, yeah, probably like this. Boop, because it's after this one. That's right. All right, cool. Now I can move the rest. Jeez. All right, perfect. So yeah, this is the trade I'm gonna analyze, and actually, like with this big spread, I mean this big stop loss, I wonder if that's gonna hit. I'm not entirely sure. So let me just check it out real quick. Ah, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And yeah, I actually need to also do this. Boop. Yep. And that was a beautiful, beautiful +5. God damn it, man. Oh, I made a mistake. Made a mistake. I first need to go over break-even rules. So here I can already include this. I can do didn't take and +5. Yes, sir. But now I actually need to go back to here on the 1 minute. And I know that I would have broken even on this candle right here. That would be it. Boom. Here we go. Risk-free. And okay. Just gonna make sure it didn't tap me out, but I think it didn't. Risk-free on this candle, yeah, and that doesn't come back. So that's cool, and the result is over here, +5. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's do this again. So it's this trade first, right? Yeah, it's this trade first. So I actually was not supposed to trade this one because it's too early. Too early. Oh. So from the context, right? Boom. This is beautiful context. Good context. Big momentum. Looks very strong. I love it. Here, oh my God. Here, this was stage 1 breakout on good momentum. So what do we have here? This is our entry time frame. at this point. So this is a 1 minute entry. And I would say that's a perfect entry. So maybe I could have gone to like a 30-second or 2 minutes to look at it if it looks a little bit better. But to be honest, this is completely fine. I mean, this is pretty clearly a stage one. Pretty clear that price leaves that stage one, leaves behind inefficiency, comes back into rising EMAs, demanded around that demand. And here, oh, this is not the 1 minute entry. This is the 10-second entry. Sorry, my bad. So this is still too early. Yeah, too early. But it's a good setup for 1 minute entry. Okay, and here, yeah, this is too early. But this works out anyway, and maybe it shows that like I'm not gonna make any changes to my system, but it's something that I can follow. That if I see the stage one breakout already, maybe this is tradable. I don't know, but I don't trade it. Like for me, I need to get the double MB over here, right? Because for all I know, this could easily like chop around here and go lower. But if I get my double entry on the the double MB entry on the 1 minute, I can then continue following on the 10 seconds for the next MMBs. So this was actually I wasn't supposed to take this. So I'm gonna call this a mistake because it was too early. Okay. So is that the trade? It's this trade. Okay. Didn't take. I should not have taken it actually because it is a mistake. And it's a mistake because it's too early. Do I have that? Yes, I do. All right, cool. So everything was kind of good. Good contacts. Good momentum here. But here, how do I even do this? Too early here as well. Right. Okay, there we go. And the 10-second was ugly entry because it was too early. Momentum wise, man, I'm stupid today. Management wise, I would have reduced risk over here. Makes total sense. I would reduce risk twice actually because there's a not one tick spread but like 4 or 5 ticks, something like that. So as it liquidates this high, that's when I'm completely risk free. So yeah, management was perfect. So yeah, that's that. Okay. Moving on, this is the entry that I was actually supposed to take. So this is the 1 minute entry right below. So what happens here? Yeah, it's exactly the same stuff, right? We can see that here on the 10-second, I guess. Yeah. So here's the 10-second, right? This is where the 10-second tapped me in, but this is where I intend to get tapped in on the 1 minute entry. So what happened? Okay. So what I can do is I can copy all of this. Boop. Because the contexts here are the same. And here, what do I say here? This is the 1 minute entry now. Exactly 1 minute entry. And I would say this is a perfect entry. Yep, this follows exactly the rules that I want to follow, the price action principles. This is perfect. So the way this would have worked, right, would be risk-free after this big candle. And what? And okay, here, made a mistake here. Delete. And this would be the +5. That was absolutely beautiful. Yep, perfect trade. Okay, so all yellow. Management perfect. Didn't take, should have taken, was perfect. Cool. Moving on, we have the only trade that I actually did take that day, and that's a GU trade. And here, honestly, I'm a little bit in doubt with this one, but I can't quite figure out why. It looks decent, so I took it. All right, so let's take a look. So here we are on GU, right? Something happening over here, probably some kind of stage one, whatever, but big momentum comes in and reaccumulates, continues higher, looks really, really good. The demand zone that's left behind is this one over here. So as long as we are above that, I'm more than happy to trade. But here it breaks down for a reaccumulation already quite deep. And if I take a closer look at the reaccumulation, this is what I can see. So maybe like after this GMB, I could have followed on the 1 minute already, but here I actually wanted to see a little bit more confirmation since I already saw all of these points over here. Yeah, I drew my resistance, supply, whatever you want to call it, and I wanted to see a clear break above because that's kind of what I have learned, that this is where my edge is, right? When there is a clear resistance, then my edge is pretty much in these areas over here. And price breaks through over here. Let's see that on the 1 minute, what kind of happened here. This created some kind of stage one. And from there, okay, so over here, from there we had MMB1, MMB2, and now we would be in MMB3, I guess. And it's all above the rising 1020 EMA. So definitely a good momentum cycle over here. Here, as it breaks higher, it comes into like its demand zone over here. And from there, big, huge momentum comes in. So of course, I'm looking to follow this. This looks very, very ripe. So here we are on the 10 second. We break into a new high via this strong impulse. This looks like somebody pressed the buy button. So most definitely, I'm going to look for an entry. Here it starts reaccumulating, lows being liquidated, exactly what I want to see. And from here, we have MB1 right here, and MB2 is very similar in size. Perfect MB2, rising EMA, small little pullback. This is perfect, absolutely beautiful. And I took that. How did I manage this? So I was a little bit in doubt here. I was like, man, this is already quite a lot of strength, but I would love to see a little bit more, just a little bit more. I don't want to get tapped out if this comes back just yet. And as it breaks through that, I go completely risk-free. And yep, that goes pretty much immediately to +5. So this was a perfect trade. I love this trade. So good. Good context. Here. Oh my god. Yeah. So good context over here. What am I going to say over here? Yeah, this is a stage one breakout on good momentum. Okay. This is good momentum, trending environment. And this is beautiful. Perfect entry over here. So nice. And that makes this trade perfect. Okay. Very happy with that. So, boop, perfect. And I don't know, I need to go over the max RRs later. I should really, well, actually, yeah, I have no way to directly track it. I have to go over it later. Okay, so more UJ trades. We already took 2. There's 4 more. So next UJ trade. Let's just see where we finished last time. Oh, I think there are actually some trades within this as well. Okay, so no need to do that. So let's go from the very start, right? We already talked about the context. Context looking great. Here we have MMB 1, 2, 3, still above the rising EMAs. Great, strong momentum cycle. Here we take a look at the 1 minute and take a look on what is there to trade. I remember I was looking for trades over here, of course, but nothing actually set up because this moved in quite well. Yeah, I didn't get any setups. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. But here, I can see that this is looking pretty impulsive on the 6 minutes, so most definitely good here. It's moving above the EMAs on the 1 minute as well. So as it breaks down over here, I take a look on the 10 second, and what do I see? So here we have relatively strong stage 2, kinda cool, but maybe I could have actually skipped this. Like compared to the others, this stage 2 is a little bit weaker than I would like, because if you look at all the other entries that I took, this stage 2, this stage two, right? Like they are much, much stronger. So this one is a little bit weak, I would say. So maybe for that reason, I'm going to label this as a mistake. But yeah, here it breaks down, creates a stage one, right? Nice little spring over here. And from there, a nice DMB. This happens above the, it actually doesn't even do that. So yeah, this trade, I mean, I backtested it. So I don't know if I would actually take this on live as I was backtesting it, and I can immediately see, like, I don't know, I guess I went too quickly, but this trade actually not the best. Like, it follows the principles of price action, what I want to trade, right? It makes total sense to see a DMB over here, but I don't know, like, I don't like that this already stayed below the EMAs. The EMAs are flat. Nah, I should have skipped this one. How does this end up? Oh, this is a break even, isn't it? Yeah, this is like a spread loss or a break even. I'm not sure. I probably could have skipped this one. But yeah, anyway, this is definitely good context. This is, well, this is good momentum. Okay, this, yeah, this is a little bit weak. A little bit weak. Uh, Weak. And this entry, therefore, I don't know. I'm just probably gonna call it questionable. Yeah, this was overall weak. I'm gonna call it a mistake. Of course, I didn't take it, but yeah, this is a mistake. So good context, good momentum, and from the 1 minute, it's kind of weak, right? Yeah. Questionable, weak. 10-second, questionable, weak. I don't have it, huh? Weak. Okay. No! I need to create weak. There we go. Okay. And management-wise, so I reduced risk on this candle over here. Makes sense. I think I got kind of slipped into this. That's why I adjusted the spread or whatnot. So here I have a little bit of spread. I have the 4 ticks of spread compared to the entire stop loss, and I think that comes down to minus 0.14 R. Yeah, makes sense. So management-wise, that was perfect. But overall, I should not have taken this because it was a mistake. Cool, it's closed. All right. Moving on, we have another trade on UJ. So let's just see where we are here. Okay, so the last trade looks like it was taken over here. Yeah, it was taken over here. That's the little spread loss. And from here, you can see it started chopping big time. Like this is ugly, ugly, ugly. But then all of a sudden, okay, it breaks down finally. Good flush. And here, there's big momentum higher into a new range. So all of this inconsistency and whatnot no longer matters. But then it breaks down again. Like I started looking for some trades over here, but I didn't get any setups. And here it breaks down lower again, chops around, and maybe over here there was something to follow, but actually I think this was some kind of news, was it? Yeah, 1430. It was news, so I didn't trade this, and here it just like went really, really volatile, but then it went into a new range again and pulled back into the rising 1020. So at this point, I'm very much happy to trade again, and we can already see this is my V, right? I mean, the entry over here is pretty clearly a nice little ICI. I can see this already on the V. I can see this is going to be a nice entry on the E. So when I go to the E over here, I have this stage 2, right? Pretty impulsive, pretty strong, and then it breaks down, creates a little stage 1 over here, and breaks out. Beautiful MMB over here, and yeah, that's just, I would say that's perfect. I really love this trade. So yeah, took that. And how did I manage? So that's the entry that I got. This is the orange line because of the spread. So over here, as it breaks into this new high, I reduce risk. And then I'm risk-free completely and I'm risk-free completely as it breaks into a new high. Yep, makes sense. And this ends up being just a plus 3.8 because this actually slips me quite a bit. As you can see, like my intended entry was over here, but it slips me a lot. Like normally I would enter just 4 ticks above, but this increases my stop loss size a lot, therefore reduces my reward and also increases my potential spread loss. My potential spread loss. So this ends up being just a plus 3.8. But overall, I think this was a perfect trade. I really like it. So good context, good momentum. Here, this is just going to say good momentum here. That's definitely what it is. And I would say perfect entry. Oops. Yep, that was a perfect entry. Giving this trade a perfect. Okay. So didn't take, should have taken, was perfect. Yes, sir. Okay, moving on. There's another trade on UJ. So let's see where we are now on the 1 minute, for example. So, oh, Jesus Christ, man. So 1 minute. So previously we traded over here. That was our trade, and that came back. I don't actually know what happened with it. That ended up being that. No, that ends up being a win. I see. Yeah, that this is the previous trade. That ends up being a win in the future. But here we break into a new range and pull back again to the rising 1020. Let me actually see this on the 10 second if I like it. So here I'm going to analyze this stage 2 over here. This stage 2 looks very strong. Yes, I really like this stage 2. So as this starts reaccumulating, as long as it's a shallow pullback, I can definitely trade a DMB. And here, what do I have? I have MB1 here, MB2 here, strong validation. Yeah, this looks really nice. This looks awesome. So let me just mark up the MBs here. That's MB1. And this is MB2. Very similar in size, below floating supply. Yep, this is perfect. This is perfect, but that taps me in and instantly fucks me up. But that's okay. So good context, good momentum, right? Yes, sir. Oh, actually, like looking at the 1 minute over here, it kind of failed, didn't it? Maybe it was a little bit too deep, actually. Maybe this was avoidable. Like the 1 minute, yeah, this looks a little bit meh, to be honest. It already broke the momentum cycle, but it's just a tiny little bit, like still around the EMAs in general. So I'm gonna say this was good. I'm not gonna call it perfect, but I'm gonna call it good. So yeah, good momentum and good entry. Maybe this was a little bit too deep, so I'm gonna call this good. Oops. The 1 min momentum cycle broke down a little bit, but I think it's still okay-ish. All right. So why did I not like this? What do I have here? Deep pullback, maybe. Mm, maybe I'm just gonna call it weak. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it weak. Same here. And management-wise, there was nothing to do. So overall, yeah, I didn't take and should have taken, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's good, but it's a little bit weak. All right, moving on, there's a break even on UJ. So let me take a look at that. So where are we here? Let's take a look at the 1 minute again. So we have MMB1, MMB2, MMB3, not overextended. Okay, that's pretty cool. So this is this, and here it breaks into a new range and pulls back into the rising 1020. That looks pretty good. So here, what am I looking at? So we have some kind of chop stage one, whatnot, and then all of a sudden this huge buy-in. Okay, that looks pretty good. So as this reaccumulates, as long as we are above all of this, and maybe just liquidate this, I'll be happy to trade it. And here it comes back, right, starts chopping a little bit, and all of a sudden, big demand validation, liquidates this stuff, goes above that, and pulls back in a nice, reasonable way. Rising EMAs, everything is looking good. Yeah, I kind of like this trade. So the MBs, let me mark them up real quick. I would say the MB is over here. Okay, very similar in size. Yeah, I like this. And this taps me in. I think this is BE from below. Yeah, that's a BE from below. I let it chop a little bit. And here, as it loses this level, I'm pretty much already looking to get out. I got out a little bit late, maybe. Maybe I should have gotten out here already. But yeah, this started chopping and didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I just wanted to get out. So that was definitely the right decision because I know I saved myself a -1. So we still are in a good context with good momentum, and perfect entry. So let's do it like this. Okay. Perfect entry. And overall, this was perfect. And I even managed perfectly to not take a loss on this. So that was nice. Maybe should have reduced risk a little earlier. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, closed and perfect. Okay, and last trade on UJ ended up being a winner. So let's take a look. Where are we? Okay, so we can see on the 1 minute, right, this entire momentum cycle over here finally failed and started reaccumulating and doing some bigger shenanigans. We can see that on the 6 minute. Okay, and as it breaks down here, I automatically assume that within these structures, like there's going to be some kind of resistance, some kind of stage one, right? And I can already see that on the zoomed in 1 minute over here. So as we had that, so here's a low, the high between that was like somewhere over here, right? As that broke down, I can see there's this supply over here. It reacted, broke down from here. So now, at least, like I have these 2 points, right? The two lows, and here's the high in between. At least I want to see a break above this. And what does that coincide with? What kind of supply? Well, it goes with this supply. So that's what I mark up. And here I just kind of wait for it to break. And here it finally breaks. And it's on pretty decent momentum. So this looks like, if this was the stage one here, this looks like it's breaking out quite strongly, leaving behind inefficiencies. EMAs are rising. So as it pulls back, if it looks good, I'm going to trade it. And here, this stage two, it goes a little bit deeper inside, but that makes sense. It's still within the stage one, but overall it's very strong and it comes out here, right? And here as it starts reaccumulating, if I can get like some kind of nice DMB, I should take it if the rules are met. And the rules are most definitely met here. I mean, this MB1 validation is very strong, pulls back. Let me just draw the MBs over here. So I would say this whole thing is MB1 and this whole thing is MB2. So they're quite similar in size. Maybe I should have like shuffled to the 15 seconds or 30 seconds to see it like nicely, but this is pretty decent. It's not this, like, if there's one thing that I do not necessarily like, and maybe I could have skipped it because of that, it's this stage two over here. So I'm not gonna call this trade perfect, but I'm gonna call it good. But yeah, it's still on amazing context. This is a stage one breakout or whatnot. Yeah. Honestly, even though it's a win, I'm actually gonna call this a mistake. Yeah, because like this looks a little bit weak, to be honest. Like I would kind of be arguing here that because this is an MB, right? And that this MB has to be in relation to something, and it's probably in relation to this, and that's a bit off. So I'm gonna call this a mistake, even though it was a win. Yeah. Anyway, this was good context. So this would be correctly a stage one breakout, but it's very, very weak. It's too early. Yeah, it's too early. Same here. It's weak. Too early. And yeah, this is the same. This also, I'm just gonna call this weak. Too early. So here's the thing, right? Even though this ended up being a winner, I'm gonna call it a mistake because I think we can pretty clearly see how different this stage two is and how different the stage one breakout is. Like you were literally talking about this breakout instead of breakouts in the past that were like, I don't know, let me find some kind of stage one breakout here, right? Boom, big stage one breakout. That's huge. What else was there? Okay, here at least we traded up here already. Like it was clear that we want to trade above this level. That's a stage one breakout. Here, big stage one breakout. So, just looking if there's anything else. Yeah, here, like big stage one breakout, and we didn't even trade this yet. So, because of that, I'm gonna call this a mistake. Where are we? Here? Yes, yes, yes. So, boop. Mistake. Mistake. Why? Because weak. All right. So I should not have taken this because it's a mistake. Good context. 6 minute is ugly because why? Because stage one and because weak. And 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute is ugly because stage one and because weak. And 10 second, therefore, ugly. Why? Ugly because weak. Management wise, I would reduce risk somewhere over here. Yep, that makes sense. These candles were relatively small, so I wanted to see some more strength away than normally. And then it pulls back, breaks its high, and that's where I would be completely risk free. So management was good. But overall, this was a mistake, mostly because it was stage one and it was weak. All right. So that's all of Thursday. Quite a few trades. And here I would definitely have a reflection on that day. Like I would definitely talk about, watch list curation process and all that nonsense. But yeah, last day. And here, okay, so starting with NAS 100. So what do we have? So we have NAS 100 going down, down, down. This is actually a short, I believe, 590, 510. Yep, that's a short. So here we have this ongoing trend, but then all of a sudden we have a new range, reaccumulation, and continuation, right? This looks pretty good. Big momentum, everything's fine. Here we have this trend, stage one, and breakout higher, reaccumulation over here, pull back into the rising 1020, and another move higher. By no means overextended. This is MMB1, so we are extending out of that. So here is the breakout into the new range, and that happens on big, big momentum, pulls back into the rising 1020. So here, if I can get a good setup, of course, I'm going to take it. And here, not only do we break above this level, but also we have a beautiful MB1, MB2 over here. Actually, let me draw it in. So I would say this was MB1, and I would say this is MB2. So yeah, that looks very proportional, very nice. So I would say this was a perfect trade, and that just taps me in and instantly fucks me up, and that's okay. So, boom. Definitely good momentum over here. Oh my god. Good momentum over here as well. This is a stage 1 breakout on good momentum. And this is a perfect entry. That ends up being a -1, but that's okay. Perfect. So what did I write here? I thought this looked quite good. Extended bullish trend just breaking down on good momentum. Yeah, because this is a short. Tax, perfect. Yep, that's all. Cool. Moving on, we got JER30. That's another loss here. So what do we have on JER30 over here? So, I see. I should probably zoom out a little bit more just to show what it is that I saw on JER30. So here when I zoom out, right, what do I see? I see a huge ass stage 1. Let me actually show that. Yep. Some kind of demand here, right, that holds all of this, and all of a sudden that breaks down. And as it breaks down, I'm going to start following it because whenever a big support or resistance like this is lost, I'm happy to follow it. So what do we have here? This is the breakthrough that level on huge momentum. So let's take a look at the 6-minute. This stage 2 looks very, very good. And here it starts liquidating lows. So some kind of reaccumulation. And here it breaks into a new range higher. So of course my assumption is that it's going to continue higher. And here on the 1 minute, what do we have? This is stage 2. Honestly, not the strongest stage 2. Just like with one previous trade that I already had, this doesn't look too good. And I can also see how wiki it is like this, right? It's very, very, very wiki. So maybe that should have been a warning sign for me to not trade this because this stage 2 is not as clean as what I'm used to seeing. So that could have disqualified me from trading this. But we got into a new range, right? So what I'm going to look at here is this stage 2 over here. Yeah, that makes total sense. So here's a stage 1, and this stage 2 is very, very strong. And I guess we can see that on the 10-second. Yeah, so we had this reaccumulation and a strong, strong stage 2 that reaccumulates. Lows are being liquidated, beautiful, and all of a sudden, amazing, amazing MB1 validation. Nice little pullback. I mean, the EMAs are rising. It pulled back a little bit too deep, but I thought it's still fine. That's why I took it, and yeah, that also just taps me in and instantly fucks me up. So I think this trade was good. I think this trade was good, most importantly because we are already in a new range over here, and that's why I'm only evaluating this. And like overall, we are in a 1 hour or 30-minute momentum cycle, so I think this was good. So definitely good momentum on these time frames. It's actually exactly the same as NAS 100. And I was onto something here, by the way. I was, because you will see that, well, I'm going to get to that, but let me mark up these MBs. So I would say it's like MB over here and an MB over here. But yeah, to be completely honest, like this entry, the pullback, if it was a little more shallow, not as deep, I would like it more. So I'm just going to call it a good entry. Okay. And overall, I'm going to call this trade good. Not perfect. So here I am. Good context for sure. This 6 minute was very nice, but 1 minute, no, 1 minute was good as well. Maybe a little bit weak. Maybe. And the 10-second, yeah, the 10-second was good, but maybe the MB2 could have been a little bit nicer. So I'm going to call ugly MB2, and management-wise, there was nothing to do. So overall, I will call this good. And also, I did take this. Okay, so good. Okay, and at this point, there was news in the future, so I was sitting it out, and what happened was that most of the setups got completely fucked after that. Like the news hit pretty damn hard. So at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna call it a week. I'm done here, and I ended my session and I started doing something else. But actually, what happened then sucked quite a bit because uh, there was a very, very valid setup afterwards. Actually, two setups on US 100 that I could have taken. So let's take a look what happened over there. So here we are breaking into the new high, right? So this is the previous trade that I have taken, and now we had some kind of reaccumulation chop nonsense, but here it breaks yet again into a new range, and we can see that beautifully here on the 1 minute. So this is all the stage one, and all of a sudden we have a big breakout into into a new range. And if I take a look at this on the 10-second, yeah, this looks pretty strong, like very big momentous candles in my direction, quite small candles in the opposite direction. So it was totally valid to look for a trade here. And here what happens, we have this MB over here, MB1, and this is MB2. Very similar in size, not exactly the same, but it doesn't have to be the same. And that taps me in, and it delivers to a beautiful, beautiful +5. So, yeah, that sucked. Missed out on another win. Good momentum. Problem is, I already was doing something else, and only when I looked at the charts and the setup already happened, did I actually realize, damn, I could have actually traded this. Too bad. But yeah, this is a stage one breakout on good momentum. This is most definitely good momentum. And this is a good entry. It's not perfect, but it's good. Perfect would be like, I don't know, like maybe not as close to the EMAs, maybe happening completely above the EMAs, but it's still very, very good. And the way I managed here, okay, risk-free after this candle makes total sense, and that doesn't even look back, just delivers. So, all good. Could be a little bit stronger, so I'm gonna say weak here. It's perfect. Didn't take, should have taken, and it was good. And I actually, oh yeah, I did measure XRR here. Cool. And then there was one more trade on US 100 also. So previously we traded over, god damn it. Previously we traded over here in this MMB, right? It went higher into MMB2. So let's take a look how this entry looked like. Okay. So this is the stage two, pretty strong stage two. Here a little bit of a reset, a little bit of a reset. Actually, like this and this, I don't know. This is already like a little bit iffy, I would say, a little bit weird. But hey, we're still above the EMAs over here, so that's all good. So here we break down, and what I'm looking for is, okay, I already looked for an entry here, I'm pretty sure, but this was too deep, and it was below the EMAs. I mean, the EMAs were really flat, so I didn't take it. And then we have some kind of, I would say, probably this. And here we have another validation, another demand validation, right? And I would say it's probably like this and this. So let me draw that in. So it would be MB here, or stage one, whatever you want to call it, and MB over here. Actually, I was supposed to take it here already. And yeah, I guess that's why I didn't take it, because that would be too small. But here, yeah, here I set it up because now it's not too small. This is still pretty damn good. So that was okay, I think. Not perfect, but definitely good, in my opinion. And yeah, that taps me in, goes pretty strong. I thought that might deliver, but comes back to break even. So yeah, good momentum, stage one breakout, all of this nonsense. Yep, can copy that. Pretty much the same stuff. And I'm gonna call this a good entry. definitely not a perfect one. And I'm gonna call this good. So what did I call the previous one, the previous trade? Back to Friday. I don't know why it went back. I called this good. Okay, good to know. All right, and this one, good context, good momentum, good momentum. And the only thing that I didn't like too much is the entry. And I didn't like it. Why? I don't know. Maybe a bit weak. Mm, there's an argument to be made that it's MB3. So I'm going to call it that. But overall, it looked good. I think it looked good. Management-wise, yeah, I would be risk-free on this candle over here. Makes total sense. It comes back, so management was perfect. So I think I should have taken it, and it was good. Okay, and that's all. Nice. So again, I would have some reflections here. Actually, maybe I'm still going to trade Saturday, Sunday, but actually probably not. That's just reserved for crypto because they're 24/7 markets. But Bitcoin is currently not in a good environment, so I'm not going to trade that. And yeah, let's get into this part. Okay, I actually first of all want to see how I performed. So overall, I'm at minus 1.4, right? Because I only took the 7 trades. But now, if I check my perfect week, that's gonna filter out all the mistakes and include all the things that I should have taken. So let's take a look after I labeled everything. What would be my result? My result would be plus 17.2. Yeah, that's fucking insane, man. 17.2 instead of minus 1.4. That's a 18.6 R difference. Jesus, man. Mm, that sucks ass. That's probably like the biggest fumble that I ever did. Yeah, definitely. And most of it was on that UJ. And that's even like not including that one win that I actually labeled as a mistake, or at least I believe, right? This week, if I take a look, there was a win on UJ, and I labeled it as a mistake. Yep, yep. So that one is not there. That's the 1759 one. The UJ at 1759. Yep, it's not included. Oh, wow. All right. Well, let's go over all of these things, over the C's, V's, and whatnot, and see what went well and what went bad. Okay, so first of all, this one is a C context stage one, which is horrible. Okay, I always start with what went bad because that's very important. So what went bad? Traded a state, traded a C stage one. Okay, I'm gonna include that picture here. Cool. Moving on. Let's take a look at all of these C's and V's. So this V, relatively okay, but kind of inconsistent, honestly. I should not have traded that. Wow, I can already immediately just go here. I can immediately uh, include that as a mistake. Traded an inconsistent market. Copy that in as well. Maybe a bit smaller. Okay. Yeah, that's the first trade. The first trade, there was a lot bad with that. That was a horrible trade. So yeah, let's move on to the other ones. So here, this is good. Clearly, I mean, stage two, reaccumulation, continuation, right? This looks beautiful. Uptrend, momentum cycle, beautiful. Momentum cycle, momentum cycle, momentum cycle, momentum cycle, momentum cycle, momentum cycle. Yes, this is all nice. All impulsive momentum cycles, beautiful. Momentum cycle, maybe a little bit inconsistent here. Not quite sure, but definitely better than all the others. Actually, I think this was completely fine. Yep. Here, what do we have? Let's break out into a new. area. Momentum cycle, yes. A little bit of a deeper pullback, but that's fine because there was a stage one and a break out of it in a demand zone. Yeah. This was beautiful. Mm, yeah, are we just looking? Yeah, this is all the same, right? This one pulls back a little bit deeper. So the moment it basically, this is like the ultimate simplification that I have created in terms of pullbacks. When it pulls too deep, I need to see a stage one. Okay, that's just what I need to have. If it's a shallow pullback, I can trade the immediate, like following double MB. If it's a deep pullback, that means like it loses its momentum cycle and all that, and it comes back to like a demand zone or even absorbs the demand zone or anything like that. I need to see a stage one. Here it pulls too deep for me, and I need to see a stage one. And sure enough, on the 6 minute, I wait for a stage one. So that was perfect. This we talked about. This is already continuation, so momentum cycle is ongoing. This is perfect. Ongoing momentum cycle, ongoing momentum cycle. And here, yeah, this was a little bit questionable. This was very, very sideways. This was definitely stage one. Yeah, this was definitely stage one. And I think I called this a mistake, didn't I? Yep, that's the weak mistake. So actually, let me go back here. The weak mistake on UJ. Where is it? Is it this one? 1759? Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. So actually, yeah, I marked it up here. I marked it up as stage one. Yep, I'm also gonna do that here. Stage one. And here as well. So this is actually not a stage one breakout. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so here, yep, ongoing momentum cycle, stage one breakout, ongoing momentum cycle, beautiful. What about the 1 minutes? I mean, most of them are going to be V's. Yep, ongoing momentum cycle, some kind of breakout, ongoing momentum cycle. Same here, momentum. This one is a bit questionable, and yeah, that's the one that I marked as a mistake. This one is beautiful. This one a little bit questionable over here, a little bit. But overall, it was still decent. Good momentum cycle. This one is somehow ugly and weak. Did I mark that as a mistake? Yep, I did. Good. Ongoing momentum cycle. This is good. This one, yep, this one is okay. That's a 1 minute entry. That's fine. Strong, yep, momentum cycle looking good. And momentum cycle looking good. Okay, and now all the entries, all the DMBs. Okay, so this was too early, but besides that, like the entry itself was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Here, this is a 1 minute entry. Okay. Here, that was a beautiful entry in my opinion. Here, this was a beautiful entry. What? Oh yeah, weak because of that. Okay. It's weak because of the stage two. But the entry itself, the DMB, is really, really nice. Here, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This one is really nice as well. This one, this is a little bit weak. This is a little bit weak. Yep. Don't like that. This one is beautiful. This one is a little bit weak, but it's good enough. This one a little bit weak, but good enough. This one I think is a mistake. Like I don't know, it looks a little bit different. I don't like it too much. So yeah, that's that. Overall, like I think I followed momentum really, really well. Followed momentum well. Mm, so was there anything else that went bad? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I traded another stage one market. That was definitely bad. So let me just find that real quick. That was one of the UJ trades. Where was that? Mistake week. I think it's this one. Yeah. Yeah. It's this one. So let me copy both of these. Okay. Traded a V stage one. Boom. All right. So I think that's all that went bad. Now, in terms of what went good, I followed momentum fairly well. I managed perfectly pretty much. Yeah, very well at least. The DMBs were mostly good. Maybe a few maybe a few weaker stage twos. Hmm. Okay, what went bad? A few stage twos could be stronger. I'm also going to include that. And keep in mind, I'm very, very strict here with myself. Very strict. So I don't know if there's anything else that like really went well. I mean, yeah, I followed momentum well, and that's what's most important. I guess I can also write managed perfectly. Okay. And yeah, I think that's all. So overall, as I said before, my results were minus 1.4, and my results had I traded perfectly are plus 17.2. Okay, cool. So that about does it. Did I draw anything this week? I don't think I did. Nope, I didn't. So this week it really comes down to a few super important things, and that is spend a little bit more time. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. Uh, there it is. Okay, week 32. Cool. So this can already go away. This can go away. Do not trade stage 1 on C. Yep, this is going to go up once again. What else is going to go up? Don't trade inconsistent market. Yep. Okay. Spend more time on watch list. This is okay. Can go away. Mind your own business. I'm very good at that lately, so don't need that. Track markets well, of course. Okay. So what kind of mistakes did I do? Traded C, traded inconsistent, traded stage 1, and yeah, and once again, maybe here, focus on strong stage 2s. Okay. I'm going to copy this over to here. Oh. There we go. Not too many rules, but if I manage to stick to these and I see them every time, I'm gonna do just fine, I believe. So another thing, let's go here. And what went well, what went bad. Okay. I'm gonna copy this. Okay, there we go. Now I have everything. This is my week finished, and I hopefully will be prepared for the next week. Thinking if there's anything else that I want to coach myself on and remember. How many trades was this overall? I bet it's quite a lot. Mm, just overall this week. Okay, so 4. Okay, let's go from top. 4, 8, 12, 16, 19 trades. 19 trades. That's quite a lot. And overall, how many mistakes did I actually do? How many mistakes? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's minus ones. Okay, so in what I actually traded, I only did one mistake, but overall, if I take a look at this week overall, if I filter out mistakes, that's one, two, three, four. Okay, four, but out of those three here, I didn't take, and that was mostly on the UJ on the back test. So yeah, I mean, I really think maybe if I traded at live, my performance would be a little bit different. But yeah, this one mistake on crypto, man, ugh, that was horrible. So overall, I'm not unhappy necessarily with how I performed. Yes, it sucks that I didn't have UJ on my radar. That would have completely changed my entire week. But it's okay, like seeing that the results after filtering all mistakes are consistently doing well. Like, look, plus 17, plus 14, plus 4, plus 4, minus zero point 0.2, plus 6, minus zero point 0.8, minus 1.4, plus 11, plus 1. That, like, if I manage to really only trade those trades that are perfect for me, I'm going to do completely fine. And yes, I'm still like sometimes I wanted to say that I take trades that I'm not supposed to, but actually this week, except for that one crypto trade, I did really well. Like those trades that I took were perfect, even though they ended up being losses. So I did well. It's just unfortunate that I didn't take those UJ trades, and also that I maybe ended my session a little bit too early, even though there was no need, and I could have secured another plus 5 on the US 100 uh, later on Friday. But overall, I did well. So this is, I think, it's not one of the first times, but it's very rare for me that this happens where I forget to include something to my watch list. Very rare. So now that I have this on my eyes and I know that I will spend more time every morning with my watch list, I should be able to prevent this from happening in the future. But what's very positive is to see that if these tiny little mistakes did not happen, I would be performing so damn well. So damn well. And that's great. That means that my system itself works amazingly well. Okay. The technical part of becoming a trader is really already in the bag, I would say. It's good. Now it's all about actually executing the same way. And that's a completely different skill, of course, and that's the one that I'm mostly learning right now. Uh, I remember Dan from MentFX. He's been AFK for a while, but he has he has done so much for the people here with sharing his insights, and I really look up to him. He said something that I couldn't quite relate to back in the day because he said that in the beginning it's 95% strategy and 5% psychology, and then once you go live, it flips around and it's 5% strategy and 95 psychology. And I can really feel that. I really can. Because, of course, in the beginning, you first need to create a strategy before you even can go to live markets, right? So it's 95 strategy. Psychology doesn't play that much of a role because you're not fighting those demons that attack you during live execution. But then once you go live, you already have a system that is proven to work, right? So, yes, you still make minor refinements, hence the 5%, but most of that is actually about how you are going to execute. And that is the psychology, the 95%. The fighting your biases, fighting the chemistry in your brain, so to say, like realizing what tendencies you have, uh, when you can start making mistakes, what to look out for. That's the very individual part to each person based on personality. And I don't mean based on personality, based on like different traits and whatnot, but like getting to know yourself and understanding when are you likely to make mistakes, what prevents you from executing properly. Um, when do you lose attention? Like, how do you need to uh, curate your life around yourself in order to be able to execute the way you need to? And all of that stuff, that's going to be completely individual, person by person. So, yeah, I definitely can relate to that these days. And that's what I'm working on pretty much. And right now, I am like climbing out of DD, right? I'm currently in a minus 18 RRDD, which is unfortunate. I could have been out of it already, but it's okay. I don't mind taking a little bit longer time and just, I don't know, take another month or two and just climb out of this. And once I'm out, then I will start my live challenge, or not start, I will return to it. I still have it active, and I take one trade a month just to make sure that it stays active. I'm in no rush, as always, and I'm very positive overall. While there was a big mistake this week in not tracking that market that I was supposed to, it's still completely okay. I didn't lose any money on it or whatnot. So this is all just valuable experience, and that's what this is all about with the forward test and with any part of the process really. It's about maximizing experience, and that is exactly what I'm doing here. And if I continue doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna be completely fine. I even created some new journals for myself to make stuff even easier. And yeah, I mean, I'm putting in all the work I'm supposed to. So there's nothing left than to let things settle and let time take care of all of it. All right. Well, that's all. As always, if any of this sparks any ideas in you, shoot me a DM or tag me in Trade Talk. I'm always happy to chat. And I'll see you guys next week. Okay. Peace out.